New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
Yeah, man, what's going on? This is Jay Ellis from Nick of Time Show, here to give you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And you already know what it is, man. The gunshots are ringing off in Knicks Nation because the Knicks hold on to beat the Washington Wizards 100-97. And I'm giving the game ball to Mitchell Robinson, who gave you 15 points, 12 rebounds, 10 of them offenses. Let's go pay that man money. Making Mitch also had contributions from RJ Barrett, who gives you 18 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Randall gives you 18 points and 17 rebounds. Evan Fournier is getting close to breaking that John Starks record to give you 15 points, 3 steals, and 4 assists. Quickly is coming into the game and changing the complexion of the team off the bench and gives you 15 points and 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and a steal. And the Knicks beat the Washington Wizards once again, despite not being able to hit shots in the fourth quarter, but they hit free throws and they out-rebound and they take the head off of KP the Snake and beat these Washington Wizards 100-97. Gunshots in the air for my Knicks Nation crew. Shout out to the KOT family. man, listen, yo, we found a way to do it today. We found a way. The Knicks almost nicked this one up again. We almost nicked this one up again because the fourth quarter came. And it was almost a fourth quarter due. Scored 25 points. We're up 15 points in the fourth quarter. They cut it to 1 because we couldn't contain Kyle Kuzma. Once again, the lack of playmaking started to show. And I don't even think it's the lack of playmaking because we got the open shots we wanted. We got RJ Barrett getting to his mid-range. We got open clean looks at times. We just didn't hit him, and we almost choked. But you know what, guys? You know what saved us today? Them free throws. Them free throws saved us today, man. Those free throws and Mitchell Robinson saved us today. We did not miss a free throw. We didn't miss a free throw in the fourth quarter. And you looking at Mitchell Robinson, there came a point in this game where this team got desperate. The Wizards got desperate and went to hack a Mitch. Which is why I'm putting Mitchell Robinson on this screen right now today. Because this guy went they went to hack up Mitch. Mitch got pissed and said, "No, sir, not today." You see that? You see that graphic right there with Mitchell Robinson? 3 for 3 for the free throw line? Come on, man. Gunshot from Mitchell Robinson. Also, RJ Barrett too, man. RJ Barrett. Horrible game today. 27% from the field. But still, this month, RJ Barrett is in the 80% in the free throw line, man. RJ Barrett today, 83% from the field, hit 2 clutch baskets when it mattered. Shout out to RJ Barrett, even though that horrible game. Quickly, man. Quickly was point guarded today. People talking about, oh, he's a combo guard, he's not a combo guard, he's a point guard. Quickly did his thing. Shout out to Quickly, man. Randall had a horrible game too, but 17 rebounds of the night. Evan Fournier, a lot of stuff to talk about, man. But before I even get to the details of the game, please hit the like button, subscribe button, and comment. It's going to help the algorithms. Algorithm is going to help the KOT show rise to the top when it comes to these YouTube streets. So definitely help us out with the like button and subscribe button and comment after this show is over. All right, now let's get and shout out to everybody who's rocking with the show. Shout out to the Knicks Gas Oracle. Shout out to Pick Timmy. Shout out to T Williams. Shout out to Fritz Alessandro, D Nice. Everybody else is rocking with the KOT show. Shout out to you guys. Now let's get it. You know what's funny? KP the Garden Snake returns, right? KP the Garden State returns to Madison Square Garden. And I know this is a season, supposedly a lost season, but I'm liking that the basketball gods granted us the return of KP and his soft rebounding. KP, the Garden Snake today. 18 points, 11 rebounds on the night. But Mitchell Robinson ate his lunch. Mitchell Robinson, 15 points, 10 offensive rebounds. Number 2 in the NBA in offensive rebounds. We have to put some respect on this man's name. People talking about he's not worth the money. He's worth 4 years, 48. Hopefully we get to keep him because OKC and the rest of these guys are after him. But it's interesting because the Knicks were shooting horribly today. Shot only 34%. How do you shoot only 34% from the field and win a basketball game? It's crazy. It was crazy. Knicks only shot 34% from the field and win the basketball game. Is largely because we got so many second chance points. The second chance points told the story. 20. Hold on, I have it written down real quick. 20-4 second chance points in favor of the New York Knicks. Offensive rebounds. 19 offensive rebounds to 3 from the New York Knicks. The two-headed monster on the offensive glass. Well, first of all, the Mitch Robinson had 10 by himself. So he's a one-headed monster by himself. And then Jericho, combined with Jericho Sims with his 4 offensive rebounds in only 14 minutes. That alone helped us survive a horrid shooting. So I'm giving the game ball to Mitch Robinson today. Hardly even caught any alley-oops. They didn't really look for him that much. He just, all his dirty work, just rebounding the ball. Secondly, I'm going to talk about quickly too, but I want to have a discussion about Evan Fournier. Because I haven't really given Evan Fournier his crazy any due lately. Because I wanted to more concentrate on the kids. But when we talked about this front office and what they've done good and what they've gone bad, this front office might not have been wrong with Evan Fournier, man. Might have been wrong with Evan Fournier. Once again, Evan Fournier, decent night. 5-11 from the field, 14 points. 5-11 from 3, 45% from 3. 15 points on a night. Tonight, there was a key moment in the game in the third quarter when the second unit was doing well, that was keeping us in the game. Randall and Evan Fournier checked back in the game. Evan Fournier's defense impacted the game. Getting to the passing lane, stealing the ball was one thing, because you see Evan Fournier do that from time to time. But there was a play where Evan was matched up against Caldwell Pope, and Caldwell Pope tried to take him off the dribble, and Evan stole the ball straight out of Pope's hands, and that helped us catapult us into the lead. With his 3 or 4, we had like 3 or 4 stops in that second quarter. Alone, how the Knicks are. You know how Tom Thibodeau preaches. We have to get consecutive stops to win the game, and that's what he did. And Evan Fournier contributed to that in that second quarter. So shout out to Evan Fournier, who hit his threes and actually played defense today. And also shout out to these Knicks, man, because I don't know if you guys realize this, but the first few threes that Evan Fournier hit was off of off-ball movement. We've been complaining that there's not a lot of off-ball movement on these Knicks, and they don't seem to really do it for 4 quarters. But if you watch, Evan Fournier was like screening Mitchell Robinson and popping out at the top of the three-point line for open threes. And I wish they did that more, because we were complaining that Evan Fournier wasn't getting enough open looks at one time, and we was using him incorrectly. Wasn't using him the same way he's been using him in Orlando, and he's turned it around. And the New York Post, they actually interviewed him because he's approaching John Starks' career record of threes. John Starks has hit 217 threes in 1994, 1995. He's hit the most threes in New York Knicks history. Evan Fournier is on track to beat that record. He already passed Allen Houston at number 5 like a couple of weeks ago. Right now, he hit 201 three-pointers with 13 games to play, and he's going to break that record. It's on point. It's on point. And the New York Post talked to Evan Fournier, and I kind of liked what he said because Berman talked to him. He asked him, he's like, do you feel like you're underrated? And he said, nah. He said, do you feel like you're not getting the credit you deserve? He said, no, the team is losing. I actually feel like we don't really deserve the credit until we start to win, and it motivates me to do better. So shout out to Evan Fournier, who found a way to do better. And he also said that he had to adjust with shooting the amount of threes that he's shooting this year. He's not really getting to the line as much. He's not really dribbling as much. And he said it took him a while to find his rhythm to get to the point where he's hitting threes consistently. And as of this year, he's on record pace. He's shattered his three-point make record already for his career. So shout out to Evan Fournier, who had a slow start to the year and has turned it around. He might still be moved. Who knows? Because of Cam Reddish waiting in the wing, and we need to move. We need to create time for him. Alec Burks still might be the easier move because of his contract, the size of his contract, and his expiring contract as well. But Evan Fournier might not be the bad move that we thought at the beginning of the year. It just might be that we just need to pair him more with a defensive point guard to litigate the bad defense that he plays from time to time. But today he played pretty good defense. So shout out to Evan Fournier. Haven't talked to him in a while. And also the playmaking, man. 4 assists today. He has a 6-assist game versus Brooklyn. And it seems like he's finding his playmaking ability as well. Hooked up some players for some nice passes today that contributed to that run in that second quarter and also the third quarter as well. So shout out to Evan Fournier. Julius Randle too. I see somebody says M Moore and 17 rebounds from Randle. I can't talk down on his effort tonight. Yeah, Randle played tonight, man. He sucked offensively for the most part. His playmaking is still not that of a first option, but his 17 rebounds helped obliterate these Washington Wizards. I also want to talk about quickly, man. Because I always wanted to make, if I had more time, I probably would have made a graphic about Quickly, because Quickly, once again, I talked about him turning the corner, and today is more evidence that Quickly has turned a corner, and it's not just shot making with this kid. It's not that he's just making more shots. His game has augmented. For one, it was interesting when Quickly got into the game. They was playing zone, and Quickly was able to get into the lane at will. That was the interesting part. Also, the second interesting part is, you already know what it is. We have our lineup that we love. The lineup that we love, we like to see the young guys run. There was the unit that came back in of Quickly, R.J. Barrett. We had Jericho Sims. We had Quentin Grimes. And we had Obi. And if you look at that unit in the second quarter, that unit couldn't really score much, man. Like, we had trouble scoring except Quickly. I feel like Quickly really was the reason that second unit was able to stay afloat when the starters came off the bench. Because I think Quickly had like 7 points in that second quarter alone. Quentin Grimes had 5 points. Obi Toppin, 2 points. RJ Barrett has 18 points on the night, but that second quarter stint, that wasn't RJ Barrett time. RJ Barrett was not doing well today. He got to the hole, couldn't finish. And on top of that, that whole first half, he wasn't getting to the foul line. So it wasn't even like, it was really Quickly dribble penetration that really held down that second unit. And that's something that he wasn't even doing 3 weeks ago. So we got to give love to Emmanuel Quickly and give that man his props. And there's a couple of things that Quickly is doing right now. One, he's getting to the hole with regularity. 2, he's starting to draw fouls. 3, this game I'm starting to realize he's not only pushing the pace on fast breaks, because you see him pushing the pace, giving the Obi the ball, giving Rand the ball for go-ahead baskets, but he's starting to master that 1, the floater. He's getting back to the floater. 2, he's going to the line. But 3, the change of pace once he gets into the paint is keeping defenders off balance. And as a guard, because I'm a short guy, as a guard, you can really control people's defensively, especially if you're fast, if you're able to stop and go once you get into the paint. And he's been able to do that a few times, getting these bigs off guard and drawing fouls. So quickly, over the last week, I'm starting to see more wrinkles to this game. So, and like he's almost eliminated completely the mid-range game. So shout out to the coaching staff who's coaching this man up. Now he's getting to the hole. He's drawing fouls. The shots are starting to fall. He's pacing the floor for this team. He's changing his pace. He has to change the pace, dribble down the paint. And on top of that, today, the passing was good, man. He's not always the best passer and the best at looking for his teammates, but I feel like once he started going and getting into that lane, he became even more dangerous. And he was setting his players up for passes. They just weren't hitting them. But eventually, he got some passes to go. 5 assists on the night. More so when he was working with the first unit, when he's playing with the first unit. So shout out to man quickly. He did a really good job, man. He got burnt by Ish Smith a few times. But quickly really did his thing, man. Quickly really did his thing. So shout out to Quickly. Like, even if you watch Quickly, I keep saying that Quickly produces the most open looks for Randall and anybody else on his team, and it's true. Like, even the way, and it's not even just his playmaking. It's the gravity, the force in which Quickly runs. Watch if you rewatch this game in the second quarter, Quickly, Randall comes back in with Quickly. When Quickly catches the ball for a dribble handoff, there's 2 players chasing him. And he's able to just dump the ball off to Randall, who was able to get like an open jump shot or a lane, something to the lane. Like, the gravity that Quickly is creating, the gravity that Evan Fournier is creating by his shot making is starting to create open lanes for Randall. So kudos to these 2 guys. They had an imprint on the game with their shot making and their shot creation just by the gravity alone. A lot of nice things to point out in this game. And I'm not even going to talk about RJ Barrett because RJ Barrett had a rough one. But kudos to RJ Barrett for having a great defensive game towards the end, who stayed down on the pump fake when the game got close, hit his clutch free throws because he has not been hitting clutch free throws for months, and now he's been hitting them today. So at the end of the day, RJ Barrett has 18 points on the day. I think he needs to average around 20 points from here on out to average 20 points on the season. As of today, the last I checked, he was averaging 19.3. Hopefully, RJ gets it. But not only do I hope he gets it, I hope he gets it the right way. All right? All right. Now, I'm going to open up the phone lines. As you know, if you want to call and talk Knicks basketball, or you know what to do, dial that number, 319-527-6241. That is 319-527-6241 if you want to call in and talk Knicks basketball with your boy Jay Ellis. And I just threw up this graphic real quick just to re-illustrate what's been going on with RJ Barrett. And this game kind of illustrates that too, man. Like, it's funny because his field goal percentage has gone down this month as compared to last month. He hasn't been able to finish up the basket, as you can see so far. But this free throw percentage has gone up, and that's been helping to keep his percentage up in general. But still, all in all, he's been averaging 24.6 points per game in March so far. But this graphic was made yesterday, so I think that's going up to 26 points per game since then. And largely it's because of RJ Barrett's free throw percentage. And also, he's been getting to the line a lot more. He started off shooting around 3.3 free throws a game in early going in September, and now that's up to 8.3, I believe, a game. So the increased free throw usage and the increased free throw making is helping RJ stay afloat. But let's get to these calls, man. First caller up, we got Ken T, a.k.a. Ken Thibodeau.
What's up, Jay Ellis?
What's
Man,
going on, Ken?
I'm rolling with it. Hey, I'm going to try to be a little brief today because I want to get your opinion on stuff. But man, hey, listen, you're the best at this, and this is why, I ride for you, and I ride with you, and you're doing good the second half after the All-Star break. You're on fire, and I'm telling you, everything you said today was on point. You took so many thoughts out of my mind, and you said a lot of things I didn't even think about that made perfect sense, especially about quickly. I just want to add just a little bit on to what you were saying.
Cool.
I think, with quickly, I was really impressed tonight, in what he's been doing the last couple of nights, getting into the paint, and like you mentioned, change of direction. And also, I noticed he's getting a little bit more comfortable being in the paint among the bigs. Because before, and that was kind of the knock on him in college, was that, he get flustered and he couldn't finish. And then you see he's worked out, he's improved. And that goes kind of back to what we talked about the other night, and also what I mentioned in the article is, quickly is the type of player we need. He might not have the highest ceiling, but this is a kid who came in, who played well. Remember, this year he had to adjust because they changed the rules.
Right.
So he was one of the guys who was baiting all the foul calls last year with the and he couldn't do that. So he had to adjust his game, and plus with the struggles with the new players, especially Randall, his play, it really affected him. But you saw he's come out of it, right?
Yeah.
So he's a fighter, he's a grinder, and that's exactly like the type of guys that we need on this team to be foundational pieces, is guys who can deal with the pressure of playing in New York, who could deal with adversity. And you're seeing that he's not only gone out of the shooting slump, but he's improved his game.
Yeah.
So yeah, and like I said, and everything else you said about him is spot on, and about RJ. And the other thing also really quick is, you look at Washington, right? They're a nice team, but we're a better team. And Fournier said it in the postgame. He's like, we kill teams for 3 quarters, but in the fourth quarter, we tighten up and we give away the game. And you saw tonight, this was, what Tom Thibodeau wants the team to be. It's okay, when we're not hitting shots, like you saw, RJ and Julius were off tonight, we're still in the game because we're playing the right way. And then you see Washington, right? And this is I've watched all the games that they played against the Knicks this year, and they got less talent, but you can tell they're well coached. Yeah. They play, and that's why they're ahead of us. And listen, Beal has only played 40 games this year for them, and he's had a bad year. If you look at his stats, he had an off year, and he's only played 40 games. So they've been able to be with us right there in the standings, having less talent, and also that Achimura kid, who's really nice in Japan, he's been out most of the year too. But because, they've been playing as a team focused, and that's, before I get to the point I'm going to ask you is, that's when everyone's jumping on Tibbs, and I'm not, even though I'm carrying the Tibbs name, I'm not a Tibbs fan. I never was in favor of his hiring, and I'm critical about a lot of things he does. But to me, it's listen, this is a players' league, and it's got to start with Randall. If Randall isn't playing well, he's not trying, he's not hustling, he's making bad turnovers, he's giving up, layups, not getting back on defense, that's going to make the team's going to look bad. And like you see that, Washington doesn't give anything away. They're just not that good, but they don't do all these unforced errors that you see the Knicks do to Randall.
Facts.
So anyway, I just wanted to throw it back at you, and ask you, because I was kind of blinded the other day when Jason called in. He was all upset about Tibbs. What do you think is really been the problem this year? First of all, what do you think the expectations were for this team? Because you do represent, Knicks fans, and you got your finger on the pulse. What do you think the expectations were for this team, for as a Knicks fan?
Okay.
How good did you think they were going to be?
All right, I'll say this. So I thought there was going to be. Okay. First of all, first, I thought it was going to be better than 500. I think everybody was drinking the Kool-Aid with the success of last season. So the Knicks were hoping, Knicks and Knicks fans are alike, were hoping to, be over 500 bare minimum. Like I think a lot of people were going 50. I think I was more in the 45 to 48, and obviously both of us were wrong. Everybody was wrong. Everybody was wrong. But I think last year's success definitely hindered us. But what I would say was this: in the beginning of the year, when I was doing our assessment of the Knicks, one thing I was supremely worried about, I was worried about Mitchell Robinson's injury history. Not injury history, but injury during the summer, because most teams and most players get better in the summer. And I remember saying, hey, guys, y'all talking about Mitchell Robinson, and he's a great player, but aren't you worried that he's going to get off to a slow start because he hasn't played for so long? Everybody was saying no. Mitchell Robinson got off to a crazy slow start because he wasn't playing long. And I feel like when you ask me what went wrong this season, Mitch was a huge part of the reason why our defense was so bad to start the season. And now we're looking at this point of the season, we've cracked the top 10 in a bunch of defensive categories. And I think that's largely because Mitchell Robinson is healthy. 2, Nerlens and Well going down didn't help. 3, Kemba Walker's defense. Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier's defense were bad. And the offense was supposed to offset that. The front office miscalculated because not on Fournier per se, but more so for Walker. So I think that held us back. 4, Julius Randle. Julius Randle's psyche was not there. Like and it wasn't even just that he was playing bad, because he was playing bad, but he was playing bad. He wasn't hustling back on defense. And I feel like his aura was weighing the team down. Yes.
Thank you.
I feel like his aura was weighing the team down.
You said exactly what I was thinking, but you articulated it so eloquently. Thank you.
Right. But at 5, when he was, and this is the part that's on Tibbs, when his aura was pulling the team down, when he wasn't getting back on defense, when he wasn't, doing what he's supposed to do, Tibbs wasn't holding him accountable. And I think, I don't know if it was the fear of the backlash of the stuff that happened when Tibbs was with the Timberwolves with Cat, because, he was trying to hold Cat accountable. Cat kind of, stood up to him, and it backfired him getting let go. I don't know if that was in the back of his mind, and that's why he didn't hold Randall to the standard that he should have. But I feel like that exasperated the difficulties that the Knicks were going through, and he wasn't willing to, go there a different direction, because there was a point in the beginning of the season where Derrick Rose was great, and Obi Toppin was actually playing well in the beginning of the season, and he would still sub out Obi Toppin for Julius Randle.
Right.
And I feel like that was missed opportunities for Obi Toppin to get better, and to, offset what Randle was doing and hold him accountable for a month.
All right. So really quick, Jay, I agree with like all your points is exactly what I was thinking, except I have them like in different orders, right? So I definitely think the Mitch part was definitely underrated, and we're seeing that now. But to me, and then obviously Noel, contributes to that. But number 2 for me is what you're saying about Randall, because I think since Randall's supposed to be the star, it has a cascading effect, right? Because if he's not playing defense, on top of Mitch, being out of shape, it's exposing, Fournier's defense. Like you talked about earlier, like Fournier's got his moments. He's not a turnstile, but he's not a great defender. And there was supposed to be a trade-off, but the idea was we're going to have Fournier and Kemba surrounded by RJ, Randall, and Mitch, who are supposed to be superior defenders. And then that hasn't happened because, like you said, Mitch was hurt. And then Randall, his aura was off and he wasn't given his effort. Now, so I think that's the thing where I think, people need to think twice, because, like, I get on Tibbs for a lot of stuff, and I think he said my thing is he's not creative. Like, why can't you play Obi, especially when Noel's hurt? Why can't you play Obi and Randall together? But the thing with the Randall, and you made a great point, and I didn't think about that, but what I'm not sure about, and this is what I wanted to convey in the next article I'm going to write, is it's not all on Tibbs. Like, there's all these internal politics. Like, Tibbs reports to the front office. It's just that Leon and Wes, they don't, they don't do press conferences. The only person who we hear from is Tibbs. But, like, there's marching orders. Like, they tell him, hey, you got to play this guy more. You got to sit this person. And so I don't know how much of that plays because, like, Randall, they paid him all this money.
Nah, see, that's
so
the
now
thing.
And the same thing with Fournier. It's like I seen him scream at Fournier like last game when he let what's this guy Dunn just like walk right in for a layup. I saw Tibbs eviscerate Fournier, but he left him in the game. And part of that is, Fournier's chirped back a little on Tibbs. It's because, hey, we just gave these people money. Like, we can't bench them.
Right. Yeah.
I think there's some of that in play.
I'll say this. That's the one player I'll say you might be wrong about because from the beginning of the season, Tibbs has free reign to play on who he's not playing, who he wants or don't want.
I don't know about that.
That's for sure. That's for sure. I'm telling you, yo.
Well, hold on. Hold on.
Hold on.
I want to make my last point.
Hold on one
before
second.
You go there.
Hold on. And they got Kemba here, who's a big signing. Kemba was benched for a month, and that's because of Tibbs. Well, and I think that's also.
But that's different.
Right. But also, wait a second. But also, there was a period of time when Fournier was pissed because Fournier was starting to get the elf treatment for a second, where he was starting games, but he wasn't finishing them because of the way he was playing defense. So Tibbs absolutely has the power to do that. So he has done it for Fournier, not as much lately, but like he can play who doesn't want to play, and so that's what I'm saying. Like he controls that. That's on Tibbs.
I think there's a limit to that because. Like the thing is with Walker, everyone gets up on Walker. Walker was a big signing because he's a big name and he's from New York, but they only paid him $7 million a year, right? Like Derrick Rose is getting paid twice as much as Walker, so they can afford to upset Kimba, right? Because he's only got a 2-year deal, and it's like $7 or $8 million. But I wanted to remember I sent you a tweet the other day, and I said, remember when you interviewed Xavier McDaniel?
Mm-hmm.
You remember he was saying how he was doing really well, but the front office wanted him to sign a contract extension, and he wouldn't sign it because he wanted to go to unrestricted free agency.
Yep.
And what did he say? He said all of a sudden when I rejected the contract extension, they started running less plays for me, and then they reduced my minutes, so my production decreased. So they were trying to mess with my value. So I couldn't get a bigger contract. And listen, that team, that was the first year of Pat Riley. Pat Riley, who came in like the savior, because remember, they signed Pat Riley more than anything was to keep Patrick Ewing. Because Patrick Ewing, I don't know if you're old enough to remember, but Patrick Ewing, I remember as a kid, I saw the paper, he already had a list of teams he wanted out of New York because he was just upset with the Knicks. Mm-hmm. And then Riley came in on the white horse. And then Riley was the same. And you saw, like, that first year Riley came, they were in contention, and they were competing with the Bulls. And even Riley, you think Riley was going to play politics? Even Riley has bosses, and even Pat Riley, who had all the cachet.
Here's the thing you're missing, though, Ken. You're missing that. Here's the thing. Well, for one, it's not the same era. Like, Sims is playing more because of the front office, right? They definitely put the pressure on him, but Tibbs still has the power. And your point to like, well, this is more important. This play is more important. We traded first round pick for Cam, so I feel like he's priority as well. But they don't have the power to have him play for one. For two,
well, listen,
Sims is playing more now, but it's not like they're icing out Mitchell Robinson because Mitchell Robinson played 30 minutes today. Tibbs tries to win point blank period.
No. I like I said, I think there's a balance there, and the thing is, like, but think about this, right? Everyone's job is on the line. Like, everyone doesn't realize this. It's like, you think Leon Rose is going to put himself in a position where he's going to let Tibbs do something that's going to get him fired? No. And listen, the average NBA coach, you know what the average tenure of an NBA coach is on a team? It's less than 2.5 years.
That's
all
Knicks,
these guys, and that's not even. And then you know what? That's less for the Knicks. That's just the NBA in general. Like the Knicks I saw the Knicks, the Nets, and I think the Pistons have fired the most coaches in the NBA.
Absolutely.
Right? Like the last in the 2000s. But the point is that and you saw Tibbs. He just won Coach of the Year, and everyone's already trying to get him fired. So it's like, of course, the dude's going to coach for his job. And of course, the front office, they're going to be, they get a little more a longer leash than the coaches do, because you can usually fire a coach and then, hire another one. But listen, they're coming up on year 3. And if you notice, Dolan, after 3 years is when he fires. If there isn't results, he fires the front offices. He's done that with Phil. He did that with Steve Mills. And that's like the average in the NBA. So what I'm saying is there's a lot of pressure. And I think there's definitely, Tibbs has power. But I'm not willing, like everybody in social media thinks like Tibbs just has free reign and he can do whatever. And there is a pressure because, listen, I think if he had full reign, I think he would have done what we all see, which is like, hey, Randall needs to sit a little bit. Randall needs to shut the F up, right?
I don't know. I disagree with that.
Last year, Randall was a good soldier, and you never saw Randall complain last year. Why? Because he was on his contract year. He had to be a good soldier and stay focused, and he didn't have the opportunity to get lazy on defense like he did in year 1. So anyway, like we don't know, so we can go back and forth. But I just think that the front office has more influence than people think. That's my point. Like you said, it might still be that Tibbs, has the final say for now. I'm not going to argue what I don't know, but I just think that people underestimate that, the front office has a vested interest in who plays and who doesn't. Because, like I said, you signed Fournier and he looks bad. It looks bad on Leon. You gave Randall this extension.
Yeah, we got it. I'm sorry.
That was all I got. But thank you, man. Hey, you're doing a fabulous job, man. Keep it up. You're the best. And like I said, man, you're doing great. And like I said, you're explaining everything and putting it out there for all the casual Knicks fans to really understand what's truly going on with the team. And I appreciate that, man.
All right, man. Thanks, man. Shout out to you, man.
Yeah, later.
All right, later. Man, me and Ken could debate for hours. We could debate for hours. I need to find the clip though, cause I'm not just making up that I'm not making up that Tibbs has free reign. When he was first hired, I can't remember. I watch so much content and watch so much video that I forget more than I watch sometimes. But in the beginning of the season, I remember them saying specifically that my job is going to be my job, their job is going to be their job. And for guys who've been watching the show a lot of time, you'll hear me say that. You'll hear me say that. So like they've addressed that one thing about his free reign to coach, and when he first got hired for the New York Knicks. I just have to find that video or find it somewhere. Or if somebody finds it, send it to me for sure. But shout out to Ken. Thanks for the call. Next caller up, we got my guy RJ from Jersey, not to be confused with the Bodman Barrett himself. What's going on, RJ?
Hey, what's up, Charles? How we doing, man?
I'm doing all right, man.
That was a good call. Hey, this is a good win tonight. I liked. Again, it was another night where RJ Barrett struggled, but he worked his way to 18 points.
Yeah.
And he was hitting his free throws. I think the next step for him is going to be that mid-range game.
Yeah.
I think if he starts hitting that a little more consistently, he flashed it some more tonight. But if he starts going to that a little more, I think that's going to really help him, keep the defense off balance, and maybe it changes the way they scheme him. So, yeah, I think the mid-range is going to have to do with a lot. He's starting to hit the free throws lately. And then one more thing I want to add before I hang up. Jericho, I know we're talking about Mitch, but Jericho can leap, man. He had like 10 rebounds the other night against New Jersey. Then he had, I think, 7 the other night. Then he's got 6 more tonight, and he's not even playing 2 big minutes. Like, he's doing his thing.
14
minutes. He can get rebounds.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, man. I'm glad you said that, because I wrote it down in my notes. of things to talk about.
Yeah.
But I kind of like forgot to mention that, so I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, and I like the comparison you made the other day about him. He kind of being like a Noel 2.0.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, exactly. Cause here's the thing with Sims, man. And I said this, I call him Noel 2.0 for a reason. But the other thing that he can do that Noel can't do, and you mentioned it, RJ, is he can rebound. Like Noel cannot rebound. So the fact that we have Mitchell Robinson giving you 10 rebounds on 12 rebounds on a night, and then right behind him we have Jericho Sims who can also rebound at a decent clip, and then you got Randall who's giving you 17. Like we should start to obliterate teams on the board, because now we actually have 3 big men who can rebound on a consistent basis. And on top of that, Jericho Sims' positional defense is outstanding. And before, in the beginning of the season, I felt like he didn't really know where to be as much. And that's a lot of reason why he wasn't getting that much burn. But I feel like he's been in the right spots more often than not after he started seeing minutes this season. And he's starting to see he's able to give 2 or 3 efforts, stun out to a man, get back to his own man, and things of that nature. And like once he starts to get the timing right for blocks, I feel like his blocks is going to rise a little bit too.
Yeah, I think I agree with that for sure. It's going to be interesting because obviously a lot's going to depend on what they do with Mitch. But maybe they can keep Sims around as like a backup big or something. But yeah, he's been great. And RJ, again, like I said, just work on that mid range a little more. And Randall, he missed a lot of shots in that second half.
Yeah.
But I can't critique his performance tonight. But I just wish, occasionally he'll show that full court push the pace style.
Yeah.
But eventually he always goes back to that half court ISO game, and it's sometimes frustrating. But tonight I can't complain about it tonight. But that's it, man. You have a great rest of your night, couple. Let's keep it up.
All right, man. Shout out to my guy, RJ. Yeah, I agree with you. It's funny because the pros of having Randall is when he goes to that pressing style where he's just pushing the ball up the court at full force. We talk about, I said the word gravity a million times today, but people just draw to him and he's able to kick it out, or he's able to go to the line and get a foul. When the game in the fourth quarter, I feel like, I know they're afraid to do that because fourth quarter you don't want to give up a lead. So I feel like they're more hard pressed to fast break a lot, and I think it's a lot of reason why if you're not a pure playmaker, which Randall isn't a pure playmaker, it can get a little bit harder for you to play slower and survey the defense. He's just at his best when he's making quicker moves. So we're gonna have these problems until somebody learns to play make, whether it be RJ Barrett, whether it be Quickly, who Quickly got taken out the game in the last 3 minutes for Alec Burks. Maybe he should have been left in because, like I said, he still creates open shots for other people more than anybody else. And there was one play. I like the fact that Quickly actually turned down Randall. There was a play where Randall was calling for the board because he had a mismatch, and Quickly drove and found Grimes for an open 3 in the fourth quarter. I felt that was a big play from Quickly, and I thought that was some growth where he doesn't just force feed Randall but makes a play when he sees it happening. So I thought that was some growth. But I felt like the coach could have afforded to leave him in the fourth quarter instead of going Alec Burks. But it is what it is. It's a good game from Quickly. Randall 17 rebounds, and we end up with the win. All right, next caller up. We got our man Big Reaper. Big Reaper. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's up, fellas? Hey, good evening, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Mm-hmm.
In some ways, I'm a little, conflicted a little bit. It's like I don't know if I really want them to win. Because, I like them to get a nice, draft pick because, hey.
Anytime we could beat KP the Snake, I'm taking it, all right? Take the head off the snake, man. I don't want KP to ever win in the Garden ever again. I will. Who's the dude? I might even relive the Indoor. Remember Indoor?
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, I don't know. I might even waste a draft pick to beat KP. I don't know. That's how much vitriol I have for him. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's look, I mean, the only good thing, I'm not trying to poo-poo the game. The big thing is like offensive rebounding, and that's why we won this game.
Facts.
We shot 34%.
That's crazy.
And I know. And Wizards shot 43%. So they were 9% more efficient than we were, and we still managed to win the ball game. And it's just because we just beat them up, in the paint in terms of getting rebounds and second chance points and stuff. That's really just kind of what it came out to. It's the caller that the first guy you were talking to. I mean, it was pretty interesting. I think you probably know what I feel why the team, kind of sucks this year. Mm-hmm. For me, the number one reason, in my opinion, was Randall. When you kind of look at it,
yeah,
it was really his fault because he got his money. He stopped hustling on defense. Because I've been kind of going back to rewatch some of the games here and there sometimes, and it's like you kind of when you watch especially he's just not even trying at all.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that we don't notice it sometimes, but a lot of times he barely tries unless the person with the ball is right in front of him, then he's gonna try. But if he's got to run out to the 3-point line, or if he misses a layup and he needs to run back on defense, he's just not, it's just not going to happen. So that's kind of the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And then because he basically was playing horrible, especially on the defensive end, it's just Tom Thibodeau just didn't hold him accountable.
Yeah.
And it seems like, it just didn't happen. And then the other thing too is RJ Barrett, he's been playing, well, he's kind of more in a shooting slump again. The last 10 games, I guess, around the last 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
But in second half of the season, he has improved at shooting. But we forget, first half of the season, dude was shooting 38, 39% from the field.
Right.
And we expected him to actually maintain it or take a step forward. And I think one of the things, too, I think that's probably, I'm speculating with this, but that's probably one of the reasons they didn't sign the guy who went to the Bulls, DeRozan. Because DeRozan is a very, he's a high usage rate player, right?
Oh, that's exactly why.
Although he's efficient, but they expected RJ Barrett. They didn't want to take away from RJ's development, and we hope he was going to take the step forward. But in terms of efficiency, RJ Barrett, although he's improved in playmaking the second half of the season,
mm-hmm.
he took a step back in terms of efficiency due to shooting 41% from the field this year. So that was the other thing.
Yeah.
I think Mitch, he was out of shape early in the season, and compared to his usual defense, you can say it was a bit bad. But honestly, compared to the rest of the league, the rest of the centers of the league, I still thought his defense first half of the season was a little above average. It was just, he just lost all the athleticism, and he was struggling. That's just my opinion from what I was seeing, because I still kind of felt like he did a great job trying to, protecting the paint. Because I think we still led the league first half of the season. We're still among league leaders in protecting the paint.
Mm.
So, I think so. I just can't remember, but I think somebody can check me on that.
Okay.
So I just think, I think that's, in my opinion, I think the whole Mitch thing's a little overblown. And the reason why it's overblown, too, is it's not like we have, on the offensive end for Mitch, it's not like we have good guard play or good playmakers that can get him the ball. So it's so what the hell does it matter whether if Mitch is, if it's not the Mitch that can fly through the air, right? If if nobody's going to get him the ball, then what the hell is the point of him, flying through the air? So it's that's just what I think about it. I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like he was playing less minutes too because he was getting winded. I feel like he was slower.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I remember he had 2 or 3 really good defensive games. One of them was against actually MB, because MB was out of shape.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
That's true.
That one was there. But I don't know. I definitely feel like that impacted our defense, along with Kemba and Fournier being horrible. And even the the rhythm of RJ and where he's getting his shots, the pecking order of who gets shots is solidified now. I think that has also a lot to do with RJ's struggles. Because now RJ knows, all right, I can get the ball and go to the hole. I'm getting my shots here. Evan Fournier is like, all right, I'm getting my shots off of dribble handoffs, and like their roles are more solidified. So I think that has a lot to do with the way they were shooting as well.
I think, I agree with that. I think that does have a part to play in it. I kind of, on the other side, though, what I think happened was last year they definitely overachieved, and it started with, Randall because of contract year. He was a good, good soldier. Got down, got it, basically grinded down and put in all the work so he can put, so he had a really good offensive year last year. He did really good, also played really good defense. And I think he got his money. And this year, I don't think he put in the work that he put in last year in the off season. And honestly, with all these guys, I just don't think they put in the work. And it started with Randall last year, and he set the example and was setting the lead. Because as the year went along last year, because Randall was putting in so much work after basically games and after practices, you hear this year that some of the young guys still do it. But last year, that was the big thing. Everybody was talking about how these guys, every last one of them, they're they put up shots at night and stuff like that. They weren't doing that this year. Even the same thing with RJ. I'll put RJ in that too. I think, it's like they just kind of followed Randall's lead, and they just weren't putting out the same work and the same shots that they put up last year because they thought they thought they had a baseline, and they thought they were going to maintain the baseline with by cruising sort of in practice. But no, they needed to put up more shots, and it showed. That's just my opinion with it.
I feel you.
Because it's at the end of the day, it's not I don't think Thibodeau really ran a different offense, was that different this year than he was last year. And so, although there's a lot to blame with Thibodeau, there's a lot of things. I just don't like people that are stubborn, that don't make changes even in the face of fact. And that's the reason why I don't like him. I don't even want to, and then also leadership issues. I don't like the way he treats players that he doesn't see, he doesn't find valuable. He just, the whole thing he did with Kemba, I wasn't a fan of Kemba playing either, but to basically demote a bench a guy and not even talk to him and be man up about it is ridiculous. The way he treats Obi, I think is ridiculous too. But that's a different thing.
Yeah.
But however, in terms of his X's and O's as far as the offense, it's kind of the same. Yeah, we got two new players. So, but I think that's pretty much it. The stats basically said, this is the last thing. The stats say these guys basically, last year they had pretty decent defense and they shot better last year. This year, we have no starters except for Mitchell Robinson. There's nobody who gets over 20 minutes in our there's nobody who gets over 20 minutes and are basically in a rotation that's shooting over 42%. Nobody.
Right.
That's just, and then we got a power forward. I've never seen a power forward that shoots 42% from the field.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before. So that's pretty much why we suck this year. But, thank you guys for taking my calls. Have a good night.
All right. Yeah. Have a good night. Shout out to my guy Reaper. Yeah. I mean, listen, we're not really efficient. Our first unit is not very efficient in general. That's a lot of reason why we're having problems. And I love Mitch and Randall too, but the Mitch and Randall combination, and I love Mitch. And that's why I always push for a stretch five at some point. If Randall is really good at taking slower players off the dribble, it would help that if you have a stretch five to kind of give him an open lane. So that probably helps contribute to our low shooting percentage, and RJ as well. So we definitely need that. There's also other things that contributed to this season. The Derrick Rose thing is definitely one of them. Quickly, RJ regressed. Quickly was trying to play point guard for a whole year, and he regressed. This is the best Quickly he's played in this season. That's only been a month long. That contributed to there's a lot of reasons why this season went the way it did. And so it's not just Tibbs. Tibbs has a lot to do. Tibbs could have changed some things, could have tried some new things. You already heard my Tibbs rant about how he could have plugged in some different players in different situations to see if they work, and he didn't. Tibbs is not really creative on the offensive end as well. I do feel like offensively he can add more wrinkles. You actually even heard Mark Berman say on another show, I think it was Knicks Buzz, shout out to Knicks Buzz, that he doesn't even utilize his assistants to help him on the offensive side of the ball, to help him play call or draw up plays. It's just all him on offense and defense. And if you know, any successful person knows that it takes a team. It takes a team to help you, do certain things. So he has to trust. He might have to actually trust another guy to help him expand the offense and be more flexible in that regard. But there's a plethora of reasons: injuries, players being well, Tibbs not holding players accountable and pushing the right buttons. All that contributes to this season the way it is. But hopefully, like I said, performance review coming up. Hopefully, we learn from it and move forward and make some adjustments. Next caller up, we got our guy, Mike from Michigan. Shout out to Mike from Michigan, man. Thanks for calling in again.
Joe, appreciate you taking the call, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so salute to the other callers. They had some good points. I was listening, and they touched on, a lot of things that, made sense, from once they get a perspective. I will say this, though, and usually I end my calls with the way I end my calls. But tonight, my man had 17 rebounds.
Yeah.
And he actually contributed to the game, contributed to the win, I should say, outside of just forcing ISOs to try to get his points when Washington started to make their comeback. I will say this, though. I did see him miss he missed, I think he missed a three at the top of the key at one point before Kuzma, or it was either right before Kuzma's 9-0 run or right in the midst of that 9-0 run, where I was like, all right, man, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there was that. To touch on what one of the previous callers said about Tibbs, though, one thing, the Tibbs-Randall dynamic, the Tibbs front office dynamic.
Right.
Man, I think it's like this. I think, and this is just, again, like he was saying, this is just all theory since we don't work there. I think, Leon being up top and Tibbs being his guy, I think Tibbs does have, that somewhat, I'd say, I don't know if he's got complete autonomy when it comes to minutes distribution and stuff like that, but I think he has a pretty good amount of autonomy when it comes to who's playing and who's not playing. And I'm going to point to the Cam Reddish trade and the fact that he really didn't get used until he absolutely got forced, to based on lack of available bodies.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? As evidence that,
that's the same thing.
The front office, the front office, they traded a first-round pick. They had a vision for this guy to come in and develop or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Next to RJ, he was coming in and he was supposed to give us, a perimeter defense, which Tibbs likes. Tibbs likes perimeter defense, and he's also supposed to be able to give us shooting. So it should have been a win-win. I mean, as far as the front office and as far as, Tibbs, getting a guy that he could use right away. You know what I'm saying? Once he worked him in as far as practices or whatnot. So that being said, I do think it, and that's one of the reasons why I'm like, I'm not, like you said, I wouldn't be mad if they got rid of Tibbs. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be, enthused, but I wouldn't be mad about it either. It wouldn't really bother me. I'd be like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the Tibbs part. The other thing, and, I'll put this thought out there and I'll let you, get to the next callers. So as I'm watching the game tonight and Washington's making their comeback, I'm kind of conflicted. Let me know if this is how you feel. My question to you is, how did you feel, during this comeback as far as, I'm like, hey, I'm at the point in the season where, man, if we lose this game, I'm not really that upset because I'm not really that enthused about making this play in, man. I'm like, for what? Make the play in for what?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I feel
I'm not that upset, but then at the same time, I'm always happy when we win. So I'm conflicted. I was conflicted there. So, but as far as my overall satisfaction with this season, it is pretty much going to come in the off season based on what we do in the off season. And that's going to take me up to my last point of the call, and how I always like to end it. We got to pay that man for what he did.
Yeah, man.
And we got to get him up out of here this offseason. I think that I just say that, not just for a punchline, but I say that because I feel like if we get rid of him, that gets our team. We let Obi have that spot.
Mm-hmm.
We get Obi going up and down the floor. We get a team that's pushing up and down the floor. Because if you watch the game, Randall, I saw a couple of possessions where one of our guys to get the rebound, particularly Mitch. I saw one play in particular. Mitch get the rebound, and instead of looking up court to toss it up court to get into the transition quicker, he turns around and passes to Randall, who walks it up. And that's Randall's solid, but that's one of the things that I feel like will be better, for not having him. Because even without a point guard that's pushing, we get rid of Randall walking the ball up, and we get rid of Randall, some of his isolation tendencies. And I think that'll inspire more movement on the offensive end in the half court, but it also inspire a quicker pace to figure out, okay, we can get easier shots for somebody if we just grab this rebound and get going. So that's all I wanted to say, and I appreciate you again taking the call.
All right.
And I'm going to just go ahead and listen from here.
All right, salute to you, man. Yeah, man, shout out to you. Thanks for the call. Now, you hit me with a lot. Let me see if I can remember everything you was talking about, though. You was talking about, first you was asking about, well, Randall, I do give Randall props today because there was a point in time, it was like 3 minutes and 45 seconds left in the second quarter. The second unit wasn't really scoring that much besides quickly. Randall's play, he hit like 4 in a row that actually gave us the lead. So, I mean, like you said, Randall has his faults, but he played today. He got 17 rebounds today, and he played, and I give him credit for giving us the lead and helping contribute in that way. He's still not all the way first option. He's still low efficiency. So he has his problems, but I appreciate that part of his game today. He was talking about he was also talking about Tibbs, right? He was talking about how Tibbs is autonomy with playing. And here's the thing too that I just remembered this. There was a point, I think Berman, because Berman was he was hitting him every week with the play the kids. How come you don't play the kids? How come you didn't play the kids? There was one interview where Tom was like, he was defiant. He was just like, you gotta earn minutes. I'm not just gonna play any kid. That's not gonna happen. And that was like a month ago, right? That was like a little bit after the cam. He's like, you have to earn his minutes. I'm not just gonna play any kid. That's not gonna happen. People have to earn the minutes like everybody else does. Like, he was really defiant about that. So, and that was after the rumors that, the Worldwide West.
Shout out the Worldwide West.
Was kind of like partially blaming Tom and his coaching for not winning a certain amount of games. So I felt like that was another indicator that Tom really has the last say. Tom really does have the last say. Oh, we got to tell him on the line. And I feel like I'm forgetting another point that you want me to ask, Mike. I don't know if you're still on the line or if you want to type it. But what's the last point you wanted me to get to? Because I actually don't remember exactly what it was. But hopefully I hit them all. But if I didn't, hit me in the chat or something. And let me know what's the last thing you wanted me to ask. To answer to. But shout out to everybody who's rocking with the KOT show. If you like the show so far, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Super chats are also welcome. It helps keep the lights on. Also, shout out to my guy, Sir G, Ryan G in the building. My Sir G is chilling. He's sick today, so he couldn't be here. But hopefully we'll have him back on Sunday. Hopefully we'll have Raw Sunday too, because we have a Sunday coming up. JT Rick says, any more callers allowed? Yeah, JT, come through if you want to talk. Next caller up, we got my guy. Tell him.
Testing. Hey, how you doing tonight? Hey, how you doing tonight? KOT show. So boom, check this out. So tonight, we're smoking on that Chris That Sports.
Yeah.
Let's go. That pack is so potent. Woo! Potent pack. So now that we got that out of the way, that was the good. Here's the bad. First of all, we blew like a 15-point lead in the fourth quarter.
Facts.
What's up? That's not a good look. That's number one. Number two, the caller prior to me was questioning, does he really want to see a play and push or not? And I'm going to repeat this because
that's what I forgot. Go ahead.
I understand how he feels. Everybody feels this way, and that's why I'm going to keep repeating this. Us Knicks fans do want to see a play and push, but it has to be the babies.
Yes.
It must be the babies. It's what's going to make you care. It's what's going to make you enjoy the process. If it's Fournier, Randall, and Burks, you're not going to like it.
Facts.
But if it's done with the babies, you're going to like it. Speaking of the babies, I am still noticing Coach Tibbs doing the same stuff he's been doing in general for 2 seasons now. I don't feel like Julius Randle needs to play 12 minutes in the third quarter. I think that's such a problem that doesn't get addressed, doesn't get spoken about. Julius Randle doesn't finish games good. Julius Randle looks tired at the end of games.
Yes.
Julius Randle is at the top, not in minutes per game, but in total minutes played.
Yeah.
And I think that because you notice Coach Tibbs has a set time when he's going to sub in, sub out.
Facts.
He'll sub Randall out to start the fourth quarter, and he'll bring him in around the 7-minute or 8-minute mark.
No matter
so
what.
if there's 20, no matter what, right? It doesn't matter what the scenario is. Obi could be cooking. You're out of here. That's what happened a lot in the first 2 months of the season.
Facts.
So boom, if Randall's going to play 24 minutes in the second half, and we're not going to line it up to where he's going to be fresh at the end of games, of course he's going to struggle. I'm not trying to defend Randall. I'm not a Randall guy. I want to move him for a point guard this offseason. But how can I not notice that and call that out if I'm being fair? Randall doesn't get good minutes distributed to him from the coach. He does not get put in a position to succeed if he played 4 to 8 less minutes or at least had a chunk of his minutes set up to where he's not burnt out at the end of the game. I think that would help him. The 12-minute third quarters, that has to go.
Facts.
Not only that, another fear that I was worried about, Jay Ellis and KOT show, it's happening. I was worried that when we started getting some of our pieces back, whether it be Cam Reddish, I know he's not coming back, I'm just giving an example, whether it be Derrick Rose, yep, you know where I'm going. No matter who it be, I was worried that we would start seeing some of these babies that we currently see and not play. And guess who came back today? Optimus Grimes, Quentin Grimes. That's a good look. That's a good look. Y'all ready for the bad look? The Deuce did not get loose.
Nope.
Why is the Deuce not getting loose? I'm upset that the Deuce did not get loose. I want to see the Deuce get loose.
Facts.
Especially because when you look at the schedule, next game we got Donovan Mitchell. He's going to cook us. But then the following game, we got the Atlanta Hawks. When we drafted the Deuce, I, in my mind, said, ooh, that's the Trae Young stopper. Now he can't get on the court. We 2 games away from the game that I need him the most for. You understand? And then the following game is the Charlotte Hornets, another team that we're pursuing.
Yeah.
When you look at the standing. Another game where I would love to have the Deuce's perimeter defense maybe mess up whatever offensive plays the Hornets are running with if he's going to line up with LaMelo Ball. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't like the 12-minute Randall quarters in the third quarter by Coach Tibbs. I don't like that if we bring back one baby, another baby has to sit. I don't see why they both can't play together. Coach needs to figure that stuff out. I don't get paid to do it. He does. With that being said, Knicks, take the win. Don't complain about no wins now. We don't get enough.
Right.
We don't get it. I know y'all want to take it on. We don't get enough. Man, my hairline is beat up from stress for losing for 2 decades. I'm taking the W. I'm just letting y'all know. I'm taking the win, and I'm excited to lose to the Jazz, but then fight the Hawks and the Hornets because that's going to keep us in this playing push, this playing race. You feel me?
Right.
So, Jay Ellis, let me know what up.
All right, man. Yo. You already know when telling comes on what it is, man. The Flames are up. The Fives are up. Everybody loves telling always. Came with the heat today and helped fill in some blanks because I forgot some of the points that my man Mike talked about. And one of the things he asked about was the play-in. Are you in favor of the play-in or not? I personally don't care. I'm not like if we lose, I'm not supremely hurt. I do enjoy winning personally. Like, you can see the energy difference when we win. I'm just not built to, watch losing all the time. But I want to win in the right way. I want to win with the kids playing. If I see RJ playing well, if I see IQ playing well, if I see Obi and Grimes and all these other young guys playing well, I feel a lot better about the win. So to me, it's more development than anything. So to your point, I don't really care that much about the play-in. If we miss the play-in, cool. The lottery odds are kind of stacked. I mean, the lottery odds are lottery odds. Even if we don't get top 4, who knows? Like the freaking Pelicans and the Memphis Grizzlies got a top 2 pick, and they didn't have the worst record in the NBA that year. We did. So you just never know. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not stressing. Ooh, 11th, 12th. I don't care. I don't really care. I don't really care. And also to his point about Julius Randle, I agree. I don't think I even talked about it enough on this program. How he plays the entire third quarter. Mostly the entire first unit sometimes play almost the entire third quarter. Win, lose, or draw, and that's annoying. And that's a tips thing. It's funny because I've been watching a lot of like JJ Redick podcasts lately. And I think he was talking about how he was on Orlando and he was pissed because, was it him? Somebody was pissed about the rotations because he was just like, yo, no matter how the game was, I played the whole first quarter. He played the whole second quarter. I played the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter he finished it. And it didn't matter how the game was. And he finished by saying, what is this? Is this like high school basketball where everybody gets a turn? Like, this is dumb. And I feel like this is exactly what Tibbs is doing. And as soon as he said that, I thought about Tibbs. Like, as soon as he said that. I'm just like, you have to vary it up depending on the game. And not just one way, too. But I digress. I digress, man. And I see Mike. Shout out to Mike. I saw him talk. He typed out a last point. He says, Mike and I appreciate you taking the call again. My last point was the ultimate success failure assessments of the season will be how we clear the way for some of our young players in the summer. Now, I agree with you, and I talked about that a couple of games too, where I want to see Alec Burks move especially. And we need Cam to get some reps in. Ultimately, we need Cam to get minutes. We need Obi to get minutes. We need these guys to get minutes. And I don't know. I kind of lost hope on Obi getting minutes, to be honest with you, because Randall is here. But bare minimum, I want to see Cam get minutes next season. Because I don't know. If Tom Thibodeau is here next season, which is rumored to be happening, I can't see them moving Randall. I almost feel like it's a package deal at this point. So, yeah. Next caller up, we got our man JT Riddick. What's going on, my man?
Yeah. What's good? Salute. I ain't going to even try to keep up with tell him he got it. He should have closed the show. I wish I called a little earlier because that was a fire. Man, I need to see fires. I need to see fives. He got it. I'm like, dang, what else am I going to say? Like, he kind of hit on everything I wanted to say, but I didn't think I was going to have that energy.
That's fine, man. Just do you, sir.
Man,
just do you.
Yeah, and of course, man. Do me. That's what I do best. But like he said, man, he said it best. Like, we all have our faults with Randall and whatever. You know, we could go all over, but you know, if y'all don't know, watch the old episodes. We all done said what we have to say. But one thing you gotta say, and this is Tibbs' problem, is this man playing 39 minutes. It ain't it. Especially when you got, you know, Obi on the bench.
Right.
Whether it's like he's gonna be tired.
Yeah.
So there's nothing. So it doesn't make sense. And then as far as the I agree. Look. Like I keep saying, as a Knicks fan, I don't believe in it. I don't believe in the lottery. I don't believe in it because I feel like we go 1-81 and we probably still get like the 4th or 5th pick. It's not. It just doesn't. It never happens in our favor.
Facts.
So at the end of the day, man, it is what it is. I say we play. We see what we're gonna do. We play as best we're gonna play. Get whatever is a W or L. We see it. But like Tellum said, it's the truth. We want to see the kids. We want to see more Obi. We want to see more Deuce. We want to see, because at least look at how Deuce has been playing these last couple of games. What was he, like, plus 13 damn near in all of them?
Mm-hmm.
So it's something you want to see, especially for the defensive stop. And then you're relying too much on these guys, on the vets. And so one of the callers earlier who was trying to say, like, oh, maybe it's the front office. I doubt it, because if you talk to a Chicago fan, they say the same thing. Chicago, you know, Tibbs was heavily reliant on the what was I going to say? Tibbs heavily reliant on who he trusts.
Yeah.
So it's the trust factor.
Yeah.
those guys really got to earn his trust. But sometimes it's so frustrating to see what it takes for them to earn his trust. But it's like you earn his trust. But like we said, we didn't see Grimes today because not Grimes, sorry, Deuce today because Grimes came back and then boom, he snaps right back into his template coaching. So that's just the most frustrating thing. So that's why when it comes down to Tibbs coming back, it's like I'm conflicted because on one side, I know everybody going to spaz out. Not everybody. I'm sorry. People on Knicks Twitter spaz out about continuity. I'm like, that's actually important because at the end of the day, you want somebody to still take the job.
Yeah.
You still want somebody who's going to take the job. So so that's something that's at least a good look. Where at least it's like, okay, they could say, hey, at least the front office didn't turn on him, whatever. So that's kind of the only real thing that I'm really harping on because the adjustments has been killing us all season. And like and these adjustments are so bad, it caused us to really get even more frustrated with players. And it's even really like they fought from EP last year to Burks this year. Burks, if he plays in his role, if Burks and Fournier play more in their role, because like I like Fournier, the way Fournier's been playing now, it's good for him to get decent minutes off the bench if we're gonna contribute more to the youngins and let him come up be a spark plug off the bench and hit like some good threes and whatnot, and then play with an effective because the plays and the styles don't match. But it seems like he has these set systems and it's all based off of seniority. So that's the real most frustrating thing where it's like, man, like we all keep saying, if the front office kind of takes his crutches away, then maybe we'll see the team we like. But that's why it's really like, it's like, because we all like, it's not just him as a front office. It's enough for everybody. If it's enough blame for everybody to go. But look, we just going to see what it is. And then we just going to see what's going to happen next year. Because at the end of the day, like we all here, all 82 as always. So whether we smiling, laughing, breaking stuff in our house, we watching. So we just
salute to y'all, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
So
man.
It's like, so that's pretty much what it is. Hopefully, I'm real hopeful because I believe that our youngins, they're not scrubs. It's not about overhyping them, but at the end of the day, you can't have a full roster of all superstars because we don't have $500 million cap space where we could sign all of them to max deals. So at least if you have the young guys that you've developed and they all could slide in their spots, to my opinion, it's a little easier. It's a little easier versus keep on overpaying guys in free agency. So that's why you want to see these young guys play and you want to see them develop into something. So when people, that's why I'm always against the notion of people say, oh, we overhype our guys, I'm like, nah, because you got a guy on a rookie contract and maybe he could develop into something that at least plays his role. He plays his position and gives the team what they want.
Right.
So, but hey, look, what's up?
No, I'm agreeing with you. You all facts right now, man.
Yeah.
Oh, you still there?
Yeah, but it's just.
Oh yeah, hold on. Go ahead. Finish it up.
No,
Man.
I hear you. I barely hear you.
Oh, you barely hear me? Oh, okay, that's what's. Finish it up, man. Finish it up. Finish what you were saying.
Okay. I was saying that I want to see the young guys play because they all bring something. We have a young team where everybody can distribute their spots. We're going to keep saying it's the number one point guard. We need a point guard. We hopefully the front office can do something this summer and move some of the players we don't want to bring in a point guard. Hopefully it doesn't require us spending too much. But at the end of the day, I'm watching. It's not my job. Like we always say, it's the worldwide mess. It's for them to figure it out. Jay Ellis, keep doing what you're doing. Ryan G, get better. We always here. 82. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, share, comment, everything. I'm out. Yeah.
Shout out to my guy JT, and as always,
shout out to Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
Shout out to Worldwide West, but yeah, he touched on a few things out here. And one of the things, you know what? I saw Keem. He was talking about how fast he subbed Obi out, and shout out to Keem Lowe. He said Obi gave up that and one and got subbed right out with low SMH. And you're absolutely right, Keem Lowe. That was Tibbs tipping it at his finest because the funny thing about that is when he did it, I knew he was getting subbed out. I knew it. And the funny part is right before that happened, Obi forced like 2 or 3 turnovers right before the and one. So it's like like he was a plus on 2 or 3 plays before that led to fast breaks. He makes one mistake and then Obi is subbed out. And I'm just like, bruh, man. It's like, let my man Obi live. 9 minutes and 29 seconds for Obi tonight. It's just like, Tibbs be tipping for real, man. Like, jeez. Like, he just made 2 or 3 good defensive plays in a row. Like, let him make one mistake after making 2 or 3 good ones in a row. It's crazy. The second part is, Talon touched on the no McBride. And I talked about this last game, how I wanted McBride to be more aggressive because Grimes is around the corner. And once Grimes comes back, McBride is gone. That's exactly what happened. McBride 0 minutes today. Like, he needs to be more aggressive. If he ever gets back in rotation, something else happens. Like, I need you to chuck McBride. I'm not gonna lie. I not be the connector and stuff, but I need you to be more aggressive and looking for your shots and dribbling the ball, and acting like you're in the G League squad and taking more chances. And for my last point is, like I said, I've been up and down with this Thibodeau thing. I definitely want continuity, for sure, but I also feel like when it comes to OB, when it comes to Cam, when it comes to OB and Cam in particular, those guys with probably the highest ceilings on the team outside of RJ, I'm worried for them because I don't feel like he's going to give them the runway that they need to really grow to the full potential because of the veterans in front of them. And I do feel like Obi and Cam might have one of the highest ceilings on the team. On the flip side, Tom Thibodeau has been great for Mitch. He's been great for RJ, and he's been great for Quickly. The biggest argument for keeping Tibbs might be the RJ factor. Because RJ, if you saw a video, there's a video of RJ, and he absolutely looks like he's backing Tibbs. Because, sometimes when people say, oh, yeah, I like the coach, it seems like they're just being politically correct. I feel like RJ is genuine. RJ feel like he's gotten better. I think he said it himself. I feel like I've gotten better under Tibbs. The team is still fighting for him. Why wouldn't he be back next year? And for RJ being here, changing coaches already, and a couple of years he's been here, I feel like for him to lose another head coach might signal something in RJ's brain that, like, oh, here we go again, and also signal, is this franchise stable? You know what I'm saying? So that might be the biggest argument for keeping Tibbs. The other biggest argument for not keeping him would be Obi and Cam Reddish kind of wasting away if he's here. So take that for what you will. Yeah, shout out. Hold on, here we go. Shout out to Silver Analytics, man. Silver Analytics, who be he's super analytical, man. We might have another unofficial stats and facts guy who always has videos about breaking down facts and stuff, stats and stuff as well. Shout out to Silver Analytics. Says bringing Tibbs back is a risk for the front office. If they fall next year, the front office and Tibbs will be fired. I agree. I definitely agree. And it's funny, too, because I do feel like the fire of a head coach kind of signifies to Dolan that the front office made a mistake. And it might even put the front office on alert, if anything, in Dolan's eyes. So that's something else to think about. But you're absolutely right about that, Civic Analytics. But, yeah, this is a weird spot to be in. He was coach of the year last year. RJ's playing better. Mitch has developed under him. Quickly seems like he's turning a quarter. Those are his positives. The negatives is he's not holding Randall accountable. Obi and Cam seem like they'll be stifled under him. His offensive creativity seems to reach a stalemate. He might need help on that end. So off the top of mind, those are the negatives, and we got to kind of battle that. Hopefully, the front office steers him more into the positive, and they're completely honest about his performance, and we change some things and maybe make it easier for him to play some of these young guys next season. All right, man. That is our show. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I appreciate you guys immensely. It's the later part of the season. It's Friday night. Y'all here talking Knicks with me. So shout out to you guys for rocking. All right. As shout out to the chat, man. Shout out to the picks for Timmy Fritz, Alessandro, JT Reddick. Shout out to Kanal Banloya. He says on the road to the 14th pick. Shout out to you. I feel like we're gonna end up trading the pick anyway. To be honest with you, shout out to Keem Low. Shout out to Kurt Germ Warfare. He says we're one piece away, a real starting point guard. Yeah, I feel like we might be, maybe. If y'all saw my Chris Paul comment on Twitter, read that. It kind of talks about that a little bit. Hold up, yeah. Shout out to JT Reddick says a 999 super chat. He says, "Yeah, all 82. Appreciate you. Should appreciate you guys. Also too, I got a light for Ryan G. Hopefully he's able to connect it so you can see him in brighter light. And got it from a while ago, but he hasn't connected it yet. So hopefully you get to see that next time. The super chats are helping that. The super chats are also helping the phone lines because you got to pay for the phone line. So salute to you guys helping to keep the lights on, literally, because also got Ryan G a light. All right, but that is our show. Thank you guys for watching. Let me switch the graphic real quick. Shh. As you know, you can buy our KOT merch at nicktimeshow.com/catalog. Get it in blue and orange and black and white colorways. Also, you can follow us on all social media at the KOT Show on Twitter, the Nick of Time Show on Instagram, and Facebook as well. All right. Also, listen to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify. Everywhere you listen to podcasts, you can listen to the KOT Show. So definitely do that. All right. That is our show, guys. Supremely appreciate you guys and the support and the super chats and the people who rock with us. And as always,
shout out to Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here in Knicks Nation, all right? Knicks win. Take the head off KP's the Snake. That is our show. We are out of here. Peace.